You're listening to Wandering Juice with Josh and Roy. I'm Roy.
And I'm Josh. This is the podcast where two youngish Jewish dads get baked and wonder what it means to be a Jew today. Tonight, on episode 80, we get ripped from the headlines. After that, we share some hot takes on dispensaries. And finally, we turn on the random number generator.
Bleep, bloop, schmorp.
But before we get into all of that goodness, friends, a word of thanks to our Patreon supporters, our patrons over on Patreon, and to our newest patron of Patreon, Ken. Ken, thanks for becoming a patron. We much appreciate it. Folks, be like Ken. Become a patron. $1 a month, $4.20 a month, $1 million a month. Who cares? Just join the club. Thanks.
What would Ken do?
I'll tell you what Ken would do. He would become a patron. I mean, I already said that. We already covered this, Josh. God damn it. I swear to God. Do you listen to anything I say anymore, Josh? Anyway, the link to become a Patreon supporter is in our show notes of every single episode. So, thanks in advance. Love ya.
I can't wait to tell the folks at home what we're doing tonight. Why don't you share where you are, Roy?
Well, Josh, I'll tell you exactly where I am. I'm sitting on a toilet, in a bathroom, in a hotel room, in Dominical, in the nation of Costa Rica. Recording this episode with you, Josh, because we are so committed to doing this show that I didn't even want to take a break when I left the country.
This is the World Wide Web.
It is. I feel like if people can listen to this show from anywhere, we can make this show from anywhere. Boom! What's that? Who said the globalist? What was that? Globalist? Yeah, I am. I am a globalist. We live on a globe, Josh. What the hell would I be otherwise?
So I have to ask, if you're in Costa Rica, how are you partaking in the festivities this evening?
Well, I happen to have come into my possession some CBD Delta 9 THC gummies made in the United States of America and shippable anywhere in the United States of America. Here's the thing about these gummies is I thought they were going to be bullshit because I thought that CBD Delta 9 gummies sounded just like, hey, let's bring a nice surprise over to grandma's house. How about these CBD Delta 9 THC gummies? But they are not bullshit. They are like good stuff. So I have been steadily popping them before recording this show because, who knows if they'll work, he said foolishly.
Well, it sounds like they're working, Roy.
I think they are. And I think I've been upping the dosage even knowing how effective they are because, I love to be able to tell our listeners the strain that we're smoking and open that container and smell those flowers. But that is just not my reality right now. But this is a chance for me to practice being in some other kinds of ingestible spaces.
I'm also, knowing that you are traveling, I have also been taking some gummies, but I've been taking these 10 milligram, THC gummies from the dispensary here. The SEALs Team 6 gummies that you're taking, are they the same kind of dosage?
Yeah, I think these are probably right around the same, 5 to 10 milligrams. Mm-hmm. They're actually not bad tasting gummies either. They're pretty decent. Mm-hmm. So that's a problem, because they're easy to pop and they're small little cubes. So I decided if one is good, then by laws of cannabis consumption, 2 is better. And if 2 is better, then maybe 3 is best. So I think that's where I am right now.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, I think that we should take a quick break so you can pop one more and I can pop one more over here, and then we'll be right back. So, Roy, tell me about the bathroom you're in.
Well, this bathroom has got everything you want in a bathroom, Josh. It's got a toilet. It's got a sink. But the showers in Costa Rica are very interesting because of their sort of eco-mindedness and their awareness of practicing sustainability and not wasting resources. They have all these different ways to deal with the question of showers. Some places only have cold showers, which is great because it's hot as balls here. It is hot and it is humid. We are here in the wet season, so it is rainy and humid and hot. And so a lot of places you stay, especially like hostels or low-end places, will only do like cold showers. But then a lot of places will do hot showers, including Airbnb, but they don't have like tanked water heaters down here because that's extremely inefficient and it's a tremendous waste of energy and a waste of resources. So they have all these different on-demand water heater situations, some that are like right at the shower head, some that are sort of in the wall, some where you have to turn the water on twice in two different ways, some that are like all this just kind of different hacks. It's kind of my favorite thing about traveling is seeing how people have solved problems in different ways in different parts of the world, especially coming from the United States where, our answer to things tends to be, we'll just throw money at it. It's clearly the answer is a more complicated technological approach instead of, well, maybe we should reassess how we're thinking about the question to begin with. And, as wandering Jews, traveling and asking questions is my favorite thing to do.
How's these gummies treating you right now, Roy?
I'm a fan. So I'll tell you. So these gummies actually came to us from a company called Canna Crescent down in New Orleans, Louisiana. And they reached out to us because they heard the show. They liked the show. Apparently, the owner is a member of the tribe who operates this business making these hemp-derived CBD Delta-9 gummies.
Wait a second. So you're telling me that the first time a cannabis company has reached out to us about product placement on the show, you took the product and you fled the country, and now you're adjusting all of it without me? What is happening here, Roy? Oh, I thought we were friends.
That is one very specific take on it. That is not all the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I guess what I hear you saying, Josh, is maybe I should save some for you and you should try some. I'm not going to lie to the listeners. I had never thought about that.
That's okay, Roy. I'm glad that you're able to partake. The last time I was in Costa Rica, I was able to get some cannabis on the street, and it was sort of pretty low grade. And I remember when I left when I was leaving the country, I still had a little bit left, and I sort of gave it to someone in the hostel who was just starting their journey. And he looked at me and he said, "This isn't weed." And I said, "I think it is, but I think you're just a privileged white asshole." And then I left.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that you tried to return it to the dealer for a refund. No, I mean, I've been able to find local flower. It's a skill and it's also kind of a joy and a fun little adventure to do. But I wasn't able to source what I was hoping for this show. There is great, great weed in Costa Rica. I have experienced it before. And, it's just, I believe it is legal for adults to grow their own. And there is a medicinal program in place, but it does not have the dispensary structure, and legalization is, like so many places, always just around the corner. I do think Costa Rica is likely to legalize fairly soon because Mexico has, because Uruguay in South America has, obviously because states in the US have. So there's a lot of demand for it, I'll say that, and there's plenty of flower to be had around. But I thought, let's try the gummies for this one.
The other thing about Costa Rica is that I know it's the most educated country in Central America, which tells me there are a lot of headlines.
I really didn't see that one coming. I really didn't. Am I getting weak or are you getting better?
We'll never know, Roy. We'll never know.
Rip from the headline.
The first headline, Roy, comes to us from the Australian Jewish News.
A real thing.
And the headline is, Weird Al Yankovic biopic has release date.
I love how this headline came from the Australian Jewish News.
Do you think this is an anti-Semitic newspaper and they just sort of are just making like terrible generalizations about Jews? Like, what do you think Jews want to know about what's a Jew? And it's Weird Al. That's what they come up with.
Right. Well, do they not know that Weird Al is in fact not Jewish? People not know this. Weird Al Yankovic is not Jewish. He talks about it all the time because people always assume he is Jewish, but he's not Jewish. Right. His family is, I believe, of Polish descent, but he grew up, I believe, in California. I happen to be a huge fan of his. I just recently took my kids to see him in concert in Portland. It was fun. It wasn't the show I was expecting, but I also realized that like, he's been doing this for close to 40 years and maybe he's tired of playing the shit I want to hear because I went to one concert.
Right.
But he's such a talented dude. And I'm stoked that there's a biopic coming out about him.
Yeah. Are you excited that Daniel Radcliffe is playing Weird Al?
Oh, tremendously. I mean, so excited because until 1 second ago, I did not know that.
I've seen interviews with Daniel and he's pumped for it. He's really ready. And the clips from it look good.
Yeah, this is like a dream. I mean, he's a great, great actor. He is a great actor. And it's a cool story. And Weird Al Yankovic is a fascinating person who really deserved a biopic. He's like longevity in a business that does not even understand longevity. And like being able to like create parody. I mean, he created the concept of parody songs. People don't understand that because now there's parodies of everything. But the parody did not exist as a thing before him. There was satire, there was joke, there was humor stuff, but there wasn't what he did. So he like invented a lane and then owned it and then still owns it.
What's your feeling about the Roku channel picking up this biopic? I mean, do you even know what that is?
I mean, I know what the Roku channel is because I used to have a Roku because like I'm always a little technologically behind other people. But I do think that Rokus are quite popular. And I do think that it's like, fucking A, man, if you're like in the streaming platform business, not even the content creator, just literally the platform, you got to get creative.
There's so many of those, man.
It is so many. It's like when Netflix got into when AMC, the channel, like got into the concept of creating original content, with that, their first show was Mad Men. I mean, talk about a successful first concept. When Netflix started to get into the business of creating original content. And now you've got like fucking Roku, and they're not really creating it, but they did fund it. So they must have had some say in it.
Roy, are you ready for another edition of the Gefilte Tank?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Pitch me your terrible idea, Joshua.
There should be the synagogue or the Jewish organization that creates the first Channel 18, Channel High Jew streaming station will own it. I bet we could get some benefactor to fund our streaming station if we say we are going to hold services from one specific place of their choosing. So there's sort of a lane there. But then for the other 23-hour a day of programming, we just get all the backlog episodes of anything that's tangentially Jewish, including this biopic, because he's not Jewish, but people think he's Jewish. And then we could just get so much old crap, and we would have so much programming, and then all the Jews would want to use our channel. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's the dream, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be 2 Jewish streaming platforms.
Oh, no.
And there's going to be the one that you use, and then there's going to be the one that you don't use. You might even pay for both just out of a sense of purpose and guilt, but you will only really use one. It'll be the synagogue you go to and the synagogue you don't go to.
Yeah.
But boy, there sure would be a lot of content if that platform only could get out of the gates. Daniel Radcliffe is Jewish, and he's playing Weird Al Yankovic, who everybody thinks is Jewish.
I wonder if he's playing him as a Jew or if he's playing him as someone who's not a Jew, but people think is Jewish.
And I think Daniel Radcliffe is probably a Jew who people don't think is a Jew. So you've got like a Jew who people don't think is a Jew playing a non-Jew who people think is a Jew.
Identity is very complicated, Roy. That's what I've learned.
I like this one. I like it. It's got all kinds of good intersections.
Well, I think you'll like the next headline. And it's from theforward.com. And the headline is, 4 nice Jewish boys, 1 high-stakes pageant. Who will win? This is out of Washington, D.C. 4 Jews beauty pageant. Who is the nicest Jew? What do you think?
I think this is a great story. People should check it out in the link in the show notes. It's a story about this event that's really a fundraiser for Keshet, I believe, the LGBTQ Jewish organization.
Yeah.
And so, I have lots of opinions, like we all do, lots of opinions about this one. On the one hand, I think it's fantastic. It's great. It's inclusive. It's diverse. It's fun. It reinforces in positive ways things that could be seen as stereotypes, like wanting to talk to your mother every day after work, or making a killer brisket or all of these things. But at the same time, it's called like the nice Jewish boy pageant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the boy part of it, like why couldn't it be like a nice Jewish man? Why couldn't it be the nice Jewish man pageant?
And one of the guys 30.
I mean, they're all over 21, right? They're all beyond the age of 13, so they're bar mitzvah men, and then they're over 18, so they're, legal men. Like, it's an interesting thing, the choice of that language. I know the term is nice Jewish boy, I get it. But nice Jewish boy is also like the way the mother talks about it. A nice Jewish man is like, descriptive in different ways of a different person than a nice Jewish boy.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish they had considered that, or maybe they had thought about it, but I doubt it. But if they didn't, I would ask them to consider, from a sense of personal power and sense of agency, like, would you rather be a nice Jewish boy or would you rather be a nice Jewish man, at 30?
I'd rather be a man.
I'm just asking the question. I don't know. What did you think when you read these different finalists?
Well, I felt so bad for them because, I could imagine a world where someone wants to have a fundraiser and wants to sort of celebrate eligible men, and they reach out to me and ask me, do I want to participate, and will you be one of these eligible bachelors? And I could see myself saying, sure, I want to support the cause. This would be fun. But in this case, a national news media, the Forward, 125 years of Jewish news has picked this up, and now these guys are everywhere. And they did not expect this when they agreed to do this for a favor for that friend from college.
I think that if they didn't expect it, they all hoped for it. These do not strike me as bashful individuals,
So then my question is, can someone who elected to be part of this pageant be a nice Jewish boy?
Oh, yeah. The truth is they all seem like nice Jewish boys. They all, they support important causes, environmental causes or social causes. They keep in touch with their family, yes, including their mother. They like to interconnect their different aspects of their culture with cooking and music and entertainment. Like, they're all nice Jewish boys. What do you want? They all deserve to wear that sash.
So you're saying there's no losers in this?
There's no losers.
They're all nice.
My only point is that they could also all be nice Jewish men.
So this is really just men in Washington, D.C. Do you think that there should be 51 different competitions, and then we have like a true pageant?
You want it to be like Mr. Jewish America. Is that what you want?
I do. Yeah. Mr. Jewish America.
Oh, that's a good idea. Why didn't you pitch that on Gefilte Tank, you fucking idiot? You're pitching me this garbage streaming platform nonsense. You want to get involved in media distribution? Terrible.
I have not
be running a national Jewish men's pageant.
I've never met a beauty pageant that succeeded, right? Like, they don't make any money. How can they?
Well, no one said anything about beauty. This is just a Jewish men's pageant. We're going to be judged on our personalities and our values and our munchie categories and our maybe bathing suits.
Well, before we go, I just want to say to the 3 eligible bachelors who do not win Mr. Jewish Nice Guy, I know a lot of the media appearances dry up, for the contestants that don't win. But I want to say the 3 of you are always welcome to come on Wondering Jews.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever we record.
So, Roy, how high are you?
I'm pretty pleased with these. I mean, I didn't expect that like a hemp-derived gummy would have sort of noticeable effects. I guess I was highly skeptical of it. I really did think of it as like, CBD forward kind of stuff where it's like, yeah, you feel better, but not at any sort of conscious level. And this is definitely sort of consciously noticeable and pleasantly so.
Because you don't usually do edibles. Is it more full body?
It is more full body. I am sitting on the floor in the bathroom. So that's a good sign. I'm stretched out. I'm like, wall to wall. It is a physical, and it is also a noticeably cerebral high from like hemp-derived CBD and Delta 9. I never expected that. I mean, I did probably do, a little more than the minimum dose. So more like 2.5.
Okay.
3.
I know how your mind works, and so I know what you say, and then I know what the truth is. I'm like, dang.
I resemble that remark. How's your edible and vape situation treating you?
Oh man, I love when you mixing and matching. It's fun.
It is fun. Anytime you drop the G off a word, it's fun, right?
Yeah,
We're hanging, so you're mixing and matching, and I'm learning and earning.
I like that the gummies sort of give me this full body experience, and then when you smoke on top of that, it gets makes everything tingly, which is wonderful.
Toads, my goats, Josh.
Oh man, have you sunk into the bathtub? Are you laying in the bathtub now in your hotel room?
Oh, we do not have a bathtub. It's not that level of hotel, but it is a nice hotel. But no, just a shower. I think a bathtub would consume a lot of water, although there's a lot of water here. I'm on the floor, Josh. I'm on the floor.
Oh, on the floor. Okay.
Yeah, adjacent to the toilet, but not on it or next to it.
When I think about Roy's book corner or Roy's corner, period, this is the corner I'm going to think of from now on. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that everyone can experience with you, man.
What's cool is that this bathroom has these double sliding glass doors to close off from the main room, and those doors are closed. So this room it's only got a little light on. It's fairly dark. It's got nice, big, bright, tall surfaces. And if this were my corner, people could come in here and sit down on the floor of the bathroom with me, and we could talk about the book or the movie or the whatever. This would be a good spot to be hanging for a sesh.
Well, I'm glad you're there so we can talk about our hot takes.
I am also excited that Roy's book corner is really the Roy's bathroom floor. And on that bathroom floor, we will be talking about dispensaries, Josh. Dispensaries in our new segment, Hot Takes. It's a fairly new segment, guys. Okay, we did it one time. We're doing it again. We're pretty excited about it. Don't even worry about it. We don't have to get into it. Dispensaries.
I've been thinking a lot about dispensaries. And the thing that I want to impress upon everybody is that it's either a store or it's a dispensary. Okay. And what I mean by that is that if it's a store, I get to peruse around in a store. I can figure out the price myself because it's labeled and marked, and I don't need someone to engage me at every turn, right? Okay. But if it's a dispensary and that's okay, then treat it as such, where I have a consult with the person who dispenses it and who talks to me and makes sure everything is okay, and treat it the way you're saying it is. I don't care which way we go, but I kind of feel like it should be one or the other.
Pick a lane.
Right. Or if you're in the dispensary, you take a number.
Jesus, Josh, this is a good hot take, man. Josh coming out strong. Josh coming out strong in the opening of hot takes. The dispensary model is clearly the pharmacy replacement or pharmacy supplemental approach, right? Mm-hmm. I'm coming in with an ailment of some kind or something I'm trying to address physically or emotionally. And I want to be able to talk to somebody about it. And then they can tell me what sort of products or strains are useful. Mm-hmm. And no bud tender is really set up for that. That's not a fair expectation to put on a bud tender. But many do try their best. And then the store model is exactly like you're describing, a consumer store. But until you had said that, I never really thought about the fact that when you go to a dispensary, it's not at all like going to a store. You can't just have a shopping cart and put stuff in it as you decide because you looked at it and were like, oh, that seems reasonable. That seems like a good price. Well, I have no choice about the price on this because it's a basic good.
Right.
But you don't get to do any of that. You have to stand there and immediately look at a million things behind them and then tell them what it is you want.
It is fucked. It's fucked. So maybe we should call them something else. I don't know.
Yeah, or pick a lane.
Pick a lane.
That's a good hot take, Josh.
What's your first hot take?
Okay, my first hot take is I'm a little overwhelmed by how many different design directions everyone's going in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of variations on the theme of dispensary. A lot. I mean, way more than any other industry you would possibly imagine in terms of kind of shadier, dodgier, or real low rent kind of places to places that want to feel like a fucking spa to places that want to feel like an Apple store. It's a little confusing when you walk in, and when you walk into a dispensary, you don't even know what sort of vibe you're about to get.
Right.
That variation alone can be a little disorienting.
Totally. Yeah. When you go into a gas station, you kind of know what it looks like. You know?
Right. You're like, wait, where does the gas come out here?
Yeah, everything is different. Every store you go to, you don't know, are they going to have these things? Is it behind the glass? Is there like weird lines? You know, all of it. It's so weird.
Dispensaries. Okay, what's your next one?
Here's the great thing about hot takes is that I 100% agreed with your last hot take. But now when I look at my list, my hot take is the exact opposite. And that is that the experience is so similar between all the stores. And maybe what I'm thinking of is it's more about the pharmacy to the store comparison where they all sort of are trying to sort of thread that needle in a bad way. But I feel like we just need to create new ways to buy cannabis. And so what things that I was thinking of is maybe make it more like a cafeteria model where you have to go down a line and you see various people down the line and there's a person, there's an area for the edibles. Then you have to see everything in the store and people would be engaging with the one area expert who's who's like the makeup counter lady who's just talking to you about this one thing. If you want it, and you go to the end and then you pay at the end because that way everyone would see everything and it'd just be a much better system, man. That's all I'm saying about that.
Josh, where was that idea for Gefilte Tank, man? You've got your list all backwards. All your winning ideas are down here, but the Gefilte Tank ideas are the terrible ones at the beginning.
I had another idea about it being like an Apple store, even though you said there are some like it, but where you walk in and there's like 40 people who work there and they all just like come to you one by one and you are at a table alone with one person. But either idea, it's really that you have this expert who's sort of guiding your experience in a one-on-one sort of way. You know what I mean?
Well, with my next hot take, I completely agree with you. And also this hot take completely disagrees with what you just said, which is... Sometimes I'm just here to buy the weed that I know I want, and I just want to be on my way. I don't want to have a whole conversation. I'm not looking for that engagement. Sometimes it can be polite, but just transactional.
You know, you go sometimes to the banks and they have like the systems where it's like a tube, it's like compressed air and it shoots the tube into the bank. What about a drive-up dispensary that has like 15 of those? And so you're having an interaction where it's just like what you want. You say what you want, you put your ID in there, you shoot it in the thing, it just comes right back to you, you know, and then you're out of there.
I'm sorry, was this your hot take or was this just in response to my hot take?
That was just in response to your hot take, Roy.
Okay, because I do have a hot take that is about that, but I don't want to jump to it, so we'll go ahead.
I love that all of our takes are interconnected.
So, because we are all one.
Okay, here's another hot take I have, and that's about how we pay for the cannabis. And I think there should be layaway options. I think there should be monthly subscription services. Like, why isn't there someone like sending me weed every month, you know, and I like sign up for it one time and then I forget to cancel and then it just comes, you know, and I don't know how to cancel it. And it's like really annoying.
Fuck, I got more weed. I don't even know what to do with this shit. I haven't smoked it.
Exactly. And then they smoke it and then they forget to cancel.
That also could have been on Gefilte Tank. Folks, Josh is just pumping out brilliant business ideas right now. What a gift. All of these are apparently now open to the universe.
Oh, man. Do you have any more takes? Or are you taked out?
No, I'm not taked out. I got one more take, at least.
Okay.
Next take, dispensaries. Not being able to touch or smell the product is ridiculous. I'm not saying that everybody should get their grumpy little fingers on all of the nugs. I understand the point of having the bud hold the jar, but like, you know, in Oregon, up until before the fucking pandemic, like you got to open and smell everything. Buying weed just based on sight is like insane. It's like, it would be like buying cheese just based on sight. Mm-hmm. Like you want to be able to like smell it or know what it's going to smell like. You're like, smell is a huge part of taste. Mm-hmm. And taste is a huge part of the cannabis experience, especially with the tastier weeds. And to not be able to smell it, you know, it just goes to sort of reinforce what you said earlier about the model doesn't work, whether it's the pharmacy model or the store model, neither of them are really working.
Yeah.
And one of the issues is because if I had to go to the store and I want to shop for something and it involves buying a fresh herb, I should be able to smell that fucking herb. Right. I should be able to smell that basil and not be like, I just trust that basil smells and tastes exactly like basil. I'm not going to smell it. That's craziness.
Yeah, it totally is crazy.
Free the nose, man. Free the nose.
Ugh, Roy, these takes are amazing.
It's important that we recognize that ourselves.
Okay, here's my last hot take. Dispensaries need to lean into mystery bags, okay? I want more things that are like baseball card packs where I don't really know what I'm getting, but they're wrapped up. And, sometimes you get a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card and sometimes you don't. But that's okay.
I got a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card.
Well, did you smoke it?
I needed a paper. It was a solid bat.
I just think that they're not doing enough to spice things up, and they have all the stuff they want to get rid of. They should sort of have one of those mechanical claws in the corner and I just win something. Who knows?
Who knows? That's the name of our new product that we're going to create, Josh. Who knows? Mystery gift grab bags. You just go to the store and grab a bag of who knows. And it's who, N-O-S-E. Knows, baby!
So, Roy, how you feeling right now?
Well, I'm still on the floor of the bathroom, Josh. But I've never been this happy to be sitting on the floor of a bathroom.
So you're happy. That's good.
Oh, I'm just exuberant. Look, man, I'm in Costa Rica. The water is 82 degrees. It's tropical and beautiful. I just drank water fresh out of a coconut that was chopped open for me. I get to practice my Spanish language skills. I get to take time away from the kids and just recharge. Everything is wonderful.
Well, Roy, I do have some bad news for you while you were gone. I think I broke the random number generator.
Oh, no.
Yeah. My kids were just playing with the numbers and they were just pushing too many numbers. And I think it kind of overloaded the system a little bit. I think I have a piece on order, so I think I can fix it for next week. But right now, I know we were supposed to pick one of the 50 most famous Jewish jokes. My random number generator is broken. So I don't know what joke to pick.
Well, Josh, I want you to know that in situations like this, it's important to be part of a team. A strong team, Josh. Together, everyone achieves more. Team. It just so happens that I have a joke ready. A classic. One of my favorite Jewish jokes.
All right, I'm going to lean back to listen to it.
Okay, here we go. An old grandmother is with her darling grandson at the beach on a beautiful day. They're walking along the beach. He's holding her hand. They're happy. They're laughing. When really, truly, out of nowhere, a sneaker wave comes and grabs and knocks this little boy right out of her hands and pulls him out to sea. In just like a flash. And the grandmother is mortified. She doesn't even know what to do. She turns to the sea. She screams at the sea. She turns to God. She says, God, please, God, I beg of you to return my grandson to me. I beg of you, I will do anything if you will have it in your infinite wisdom to return my darling grandson to me, please. And then a moment later, a wave rises up and it slams down on the beach, and out of it tumbles her grandson onto the sand, coughing, wet, choking, gasping, but clearly alive. And she runs over to him and she picks him up and she holds him close and she looks up at heaven and she says to heaven, he had a hat.
That's a good joke, Roy.
You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
This is great, but look, a deal's a deal. Mm-hmm. Returned him and the hat. Okay, I guess I like that. That's a good joke. Subjective.
When I'm not laughing is when I think something is the funniest.
That is the best spin I've ever heard you put on anything.
Oh, I think that's true, though. I really do.
You appreciated it so much, it was more than laughter. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I appreciate the structure of the joke.
Had you heard it before?
I've heard the punchline before, but not the setup before.
I mean, it's a story of a joke. I appreciate that also.
Yeah. That's what so many, when you look at this list of the 50 Jewish jokes, they're all stories. There's no knock-knock jokes in there.
Who's there?
Bar
who?
Bar who? I don't know.
Jesus, man, you working on that one in Hebrew school?
I used that when I was doing at my sister's bat mitzvah when I had to give the aliyah.
Classic. You did. You've been a performer all your life, man. That's just a fact.
Yeah, they don't appreciate it.
No, they do now, though, a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe still not.
Where did you first hear that? Who told you that joke?
I don't remember. I don't remember where it came from. I don't remember how long I've known it, but I've known it a long time. And I remember the first time I heard it, just loving it immediately.
Yeah.
It says so much.
I like that you used the grandmother because I've heard variations where it's a grandfather, and I think the grandmother does the way you set it up. I was not expecting it, so that was good. I liked it.
Thanks. Well, I hope everyone out there liked it too and jumping in for the R and G. Until next time.
So, Roy, I have to ask you, would you grow your gummy?
Would I grow these highly processed, lab-developed gummies? If I could have a snozzberry bush covered in Delta 9 CBD gummies, would I have one? Yeah, I would have a little snozzberry bush, and I would pick snozzberries from it and enjoy snozzberries as needed.
I'm glad that you're experiencing the Delta 9s. I mean, I think that's exciting. Innovation is key.
Yeah, I hadn't really understood it and sort of the technology involved with like that and being still from the hemp plant, but finding ways to unlock more of the hemp plant's capabilities. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool, actually. Pretty cool.
Well, good, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, shout out to the folks over at Crescent Canna who maybe will hear this episode. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. We'll find out. I don't think we officially ended the show, Josh. I think we're just sort of in that space in between.
That's the thing about recording in a bathroom is I think that sometimes, when you're in the bathroom, it's sort of like time stays still sometimes. You can close that door and you don't know, how long you've been in there. I think that's just what happened.
I mean, I have been in the bathroom a long time right now. Bathroom floors are not really made for being sat on. They're not known for their, softness.
I appreciate you recording from Costa Rica, Roy, and I appreciate all of you listening from home, and I'd appreciate it if you rated, reviewed the podcast, tell a friend, grow the Wondering Juice community. Until next time, I'm Josh.
I am Roy. Keep
wondering.
And keep wondering too. Also, I said it too.